Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So today I'm here with a comparison video between the two latest and greatest Poco phones, the X3 NFC and the most recent M3 that just came out about a week ago. There are some surprising similarities between these two phones, a little bit of a price difference. This one you can find for about $240 on eBay, and this one goes for about $150 American. However, both from the brand Poco, both solid, unlocked devices that really are geared towards the budget market. But how much really does about $100 make between the M3 and the X3? So we're going to talk about that in this video. And before we get into that though, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, I appreciate you being here. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Now let's see what these phones are all about. So first things first, we'll talk about the M3. The M3 just recently came out. I've made quite a few videos on it, and I happen to think it's a pretty decent and reliable budget phone. Snapdragon 662, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of storage, a 6,000 milliamp battery, 48 megapixel on the back. It's got most everything that you can ask for in a really cheap phone, but it still has some power for when you actually open up apps. The biggest complaints about this phone, of course, are the system lag, and it just doesn't have the resources it needs to push MIUI 12, which is kind of on the resource intensive side. Fingerprint sensor on the side, facial unlock technology, so you can unlock it with your face, all that good stuff, and perfectly capable of playing a lot of games. I even made a video about gaming and showed off the PUBG and the Call of Duty mobile performance. Very surprising. And that's one of the things that I think is kind of underrated on this phone. Yes, a lot of people have dinged it for like the camera, which me personally, yes, the camera's not that great, but for $150, what do you really expect? This is designed for a lot of different people who want a very reliable phone that does a lot of things, and they, maybe just don't care so much that it's not a flagship phone. They don't want to have to spend $1,000. They don't even want to spend $400 or $500. This is like the very low budget entry phone, but I've tested out a lot of budget level entry phones before, and this is definitely the best one that I've tested out so far to date. So I don't think Poco is out of their mind in creating a phone that fills that box. Somebody needed to do it. It wasn't going to be Google. It wasn't going to be Samsung. It wasn't going to be Apple. So $150 right here. Yeah, I think that is a pretty decent deal. It's got the 6.53 inch screen on it, full 1080p. It works great when you're indoors, when you're outdoors. Yeah, with the brightness on there. It's just not the brightest LCD screen in the world, but hey, for the price point, I think that it looks pretty decent. The 6,000 milliamp battery will last you all stinking day. It recharges with up to 22 watts with the power brick that's included with it, USB-C, and it has a headphone jack on it for those of you who still like to be able to plug in your headphones or your earbuds. So now that we've talked about the M3, let's go ahead and talk about the X3. So the X3 actually got sent over to me about a month or so ago. This one came out in September 2020. It is a phenomenal phone. Whenever they came out with this one, I was like, man, $250 for this sucker, and it does so many great things. It has a 64 megapixel primary camera on it, which takes actually pretty good pictures. It has a 13 megapixel wide angle, and then it has the 2 megapixel macro, just like the M3 does. But this one, the camera takes really good pictures, and I made a whole video about the X3. You can go check that out to look at all the camera samples and all that good stuff. I went to the museum, I went outside, I went inside, I took all sorts of stuff, and I was really impressed with it. Actually, both these phones also have dual stereo speakers. I want to point that out as well, and the speakers on both of them are good. So the Poco X3 NFC actually has a 5,000 milliamp battery, so it's not quite as big as the M3. The M3, if you baby that thing, it'll probably last you for 2 days. It's not the fastest in the world to recharge, not because it doesn't have the quick charge capability, not because it's not a USB-C charger, it's because it just has such a massive battery. 6,000 milliamps takes a long time to charge. 5,000 milliamp here. This one does have 33 watt charging instead of 22, so this one will recharge probably faster, but still, 5,000 milliamp versus 6,000 milliamp, they're both gonna last you all day. This one right here really, I think, takes the cake for me in the budget category. So the M3 is like the budget man's phone, and this one's like the crazy good budget man's phone. Snapdragon 732G. The G stands for gaming. It's designed more so, it's a little bit, it's a little bit faster than the 730 or just regular 732, but you can play some serious games on here. This one handles PUBG, and it also handles Call of Duty Mobile like a champ. World Warships, you can play whatever you want on here. You can play Fortnite. It's not the most amazing in the world, but it's definitely better than playing on the M3. This one looks better. It feels more premium. This one has a 6.67 inch LCD screen. So what makes this one so special is it has a 120 hertz refresh rate, which is ideal for gaming, because when you're gaming, especially playing some high intensity games like PUBG, Call of Duty Mobile, Fortnite, all that stuff, you want to have less motion blur. And motion blur is something that, kind of affects you when you're playing high intensity games, lots of stuff going on. This will eliminate that and make it look super smooth, plus full 1080p plus display, which is great. And it's 6.67 inches. So you get a really nice large display there. It's just a solid looking phone. This one looks very much more premium. So like if you pick this one up and then you pick this one up, there is definitely a noticeable difference there. Now this one doesn't have wireless charging either, but it does actually have an IP53 dust and water resistance rating. At least it's better than nothing. Fingerprint sensor on the side, just like the M3, but this one actually works quite a bit faster. And that's because it has more RAM. This one has 6 gigabytes of RAM as opposed to 4, plus it has a Snapdragon 732 instead of the Snapdragon 662. That is a tremendous amount of performance increase. And it also has the power it needs to get through and use MIUI 12 based on Android 10 much, much better. Very, very much more smooth experience. So like, look here. I'll go ahead and press the fingerprint sensor, and you see how much slower that is. And it is a lot slower than the X3. And it's about at least 2 seconds there for that. And this was after the optimization and performance improvement update that just came out yesterday. So you've got that, and it's just really slow in that department. And also the facial recognition. So go ahead and fire it up. There we go. I just got the check mark. So it is much slower than our good friend here, the X3. About a second slower when it comes to that stuff. Facial unlock, same thing here. There we go, got the check mark. So Poco has done a good thing though. This one right here, and I really can't believe that this phone is only like 240 bucks on Amazon. It's really surprising to me because this has so much performance. I was really impressed with the cameras that are on it. And it's like the best budget gaming phone that you can get out on the market, I think. And then you get the regular Poco M3, still good for gaming, but it has a longer battery, and it's also something that's just going to last you for a really long time. So you can't go wrong with either of them. But I wanted to put them both side by side, show them off, talk about some of the differences and the similarities. Of course, yes, this one looks good. I mean, for a $150 phone, this phone looks really nice. This one right here, though, it also comes in a gray color. This one looks very, very premium. It looks very sharp. It looks a lot like the Asus Zenfone to me. I really like the camera setup on the back, too. This module is nice as far as the camera goes. But overall, it also has a headphone jack as well. You really can't go wrong with either. I just wanted to highlight the differences and talk about them because this one right here, the Poco M3, is great for somebody who just really doesn't want to spend a whole lot of money, but wants a updated OS on it. I mean, it is running MIUI 12, which is based on Android 10. Now, it's not going to be as crispy or as nice as the X3, but you can see here, I mean, it's not quite as fast or sharp whenever you switch back and forth between stuff. And also, yes, go and watch the other videos that I made. You can learn some more about this phone. Like I said, you can't go wrong with either if you're looking to get something that is very inexpensive when it comes to a smartphone. If you want something a little bit more premium, a little bit more classy, look sharper, has overall better performance, less lag, less slowdowns and things like that, this one right here, the Poco X3 NFC, is absolutely your guy. And I could recommend this one up and down the wall all day long. I totally love it, and I think they really nailed this one out of the park. And it's got to be, I got to say, like the ultimate budget gaming phone. And then when it comes to the regular Poco, this is like the ultimate budget man's phone. And there's not really a whole lot that is this well-rounded at this price point with the Poco M3. So I think Poco's done a great job kind of separating themselves from Xiaomi and then really targeting this budget and ultra budget sector for the phone. You're not going to get something like that here in the States that's going to be this well-rounded and have this much stuff for 150 bucks. And then you're really not going to find anything at the $240, $230 category, and also keep an eye out for sales. Yes, once you get to like the $300 and $400 category, you've got some serious competition there with like the TCL 10 5G. Also looking at TCL 10 Pro, which is a fantastic phone. And I've got one right here. Beautiful, awesome phone. I totally love it a lot too. So as you get to that $300, $400 price category, there's a lot out there that really competes well with these phones. But when you're talking about 150 to 220, 230 bucks, these guys I think kind of have the market locked down right now. And if you want more information about them, please check out my other full videos on them. I've done reviews on them. I've done gaming reviews on them. I've really covered these phones a lot since Poco sent them out to me. So that's all I've got in this video. I just want to take a minute to show these off, talk about them for, it's the holiday season right now. I mean, if you watch this later, that's one thing, but right now it's December the 5th. So we're right on the heels of Black Friday, Cyber Monday, holidays coming up. So these are things I think people are looking for right now. And I wanted to get this video out to talk about the differences, let you know what's there, what's out there, and really kind of what they're geared for and which one might be right for you. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.